Honesty, passion, experience. It's Timberwolves Explosion, hosted on the Paladino Live Network. And now, your host, Paladino Joey. Hello again, Timberwolves fans. Are you ready for the explosion of Timberwolves basketball? I am your host, Paladino Joey, or Joey Owygen. Timberwolves Explosion is available on all of your favorite podcasting apps. I thank each and every one of you once and always for downloading and listening to this show. It's a great pleasure to be back on board with you once again today it's kind of an overcast sky, and I'm not feeling my best, but better than yesterday, I guess, so that's an improvement. Steps forward and all that. So, Minnesota Timberwolves do win their last two games against Brooklyn and Utah. Wind up with the 6th seed, so no play-in tournament, but we get to play the Los Angeles Lakers. Yeah, the Lakers. You know that team. Well, one of their franchise players 40 years old, but then the other franchise player is, under 30. So it's going to be interesting, to say the least, to the Timberwolves match up with this team. I don't know. The series wasn't all that great, the season series. Things weren't also, things weren't also wonderful and hunky-dory during the regular season. It's a best of 7. Lakers only won 50 games this year, which is interesting, but it is what it is. Luka wasn't there the whole season. This was definitely a season of trades and transformations in the NBA. Like, look at the Warriors, how much more frightening and what a big threat they've become since getting the other most unlikable player in NBA history. I can't believe people think Curry's likable, but I've been hearing it nonstop, how likable he is. It's like, okay, sure, I guess. Maybe after the game, not during the game. During the game, he's obnoxious. Anyhow, Butler is 10 times more obnoxious than most players in the NBA. Luka can be pretty obnoxious as well. Remember last year, so against the Mavericks and Wolves in the Western Conference Finals. The Dallas Mavericks are kind of in the play-in situation. They did beat the Kings. Now they are going up against the Memphis Grizzlies, who barely lost to the Warriors, who were stuck in the play-in of all things. So kind of crazy how all that happened. Bit of a logjam in the final, the last, pretty much 5 through 10 was pretty much a bit of a logjam. Well, maybe not that big. 5 to 8 is kind of more where the logjam is. Of course, the Nuggets and the Memphis Grizzlies fire both of their coaches, which is weird and strange, but it is what it is. I already talked about the reasons why I think Mike Malone was let go. I think he's kind of a prickly person, so I like when he doesn't get along with you, he doesn't get along with you. The other one, Jenkins, I have no idea. He supposedly lost the locker room, I guess. Who knows? Maybe John's big mouth ran his big mouth again. The Timberwolves and Lakers series starts on Saturday. We're going to hear from Vince Germano. I'm going to extremely briefly look at Brooklyn, Utah, but I mean really briefly. They were pretty much tune-ups leading into this series. So the Wolves did bleep around a little bit in these games, which was kind of annoying, but whatever it was. Rudy Gobert with 35 points, 11 rebounds, and a block versus Brooklyn. That's pretty much all you need to know there. The Timberwolves, Anthony Edwards only 9 points. That's kind of funny. Conley only played 13 and a half minutes. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, 10 points off the bench, so on and so forth. But a lot of the starters didn't play a whole lot, and that's good. I mean, you don't want them to play too much. Julius Randle with 21 points, 8 of 11 from the floor, 5 of 6 from downtown. Nice performance against the Nets. We're going to move on immediately, if humanly possible. So I think we're going to have a super short first segment, or just one really big, just like a 2-segment show. Maybe we'll do that, really big first segment, and then fan interaction. I don't know. We'll split it up like we normally do. So I could pass out an award, so to speak, for this week. Utah Jazz game. So I didn't even mention the final score with Brooklyn. Well, the Wolves won handily, 117-91. That was last Friday the 11th. And then the Jazz on Sunday the 13th, a 116-105 victory. Wolves kind of messing around a bit. Anthony Edwards with 43 points, though. Ultimately, at the end of the day, 15 of 31, 7 of 18 from outside. Anthony Edwards becomes the three-point champion basically for a regular season, so good for him, I suppose, beating Curry. And I'm blanking on the other player, so my bad there. But wound up winning the, he made the most threes for the season, 320. So good for him, I suppose. I don't get all that bent out of shape about that, but it's cool. I mean, it's nice that he got it. I don't like that the NBA's gone to like 9 million threes. I think I've mentioned that a few times historically. So that's just kind of how I feel about that. Yeah, it's pretty wild. 320. So whereas last year he made Anthony Edwards in the same amount of games, 79, 190. Previous year, 213, 215 the year before, and way back in his rookie year, 171. Even that's kind of a lot. But attempted 811 to get there. So his three-point percentage a little better than previous years, almost 40, 39.5. It's better, but to act like he's some historic shooter, I don't know. Sometimes the shot selection stinks, and that's probably what hurts him sometimes. Him being Anthony Edwards, of course, 27.6 points a game for the season, almost 6 rebounds, and almost 5 assists. So a nice, basically nice numbers to kind of wrap up the year, and where he finishes up as, a absolute all-star, a perennial all-star, hopefully a legend someday, but we'll have to wait and see how that turns out. Conley played 15 minutes and didn't score a point. Did get 2 assists and 2 rebounds. Dante DiVincenzo, solid up the bench the last few games, 16 points in this one. Good for him. Rudy Gobert with 19 points and 18 rebounds with 4 blocks versus his former club. You could probably guess where the Lone Wolf Award is going. It's not Anthony Edwards, it's Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert has been playing great, and the Wolves are going to need him against the Lakers coming up for sure. So Rudy Gobert will bring in the Lone Wolf Award, the Johnny Flynn Memorial. It's Mike Conley, dang it. No, it's not. I don't know. McDaniels, hopefully he'll be a little better. He's been invisible a bit. 3 steals and 2 blocks. I don't know. I can't give it to him. He played pretty well against the Jazz. Can't expect too much out of him. How about nobody? Maybe guys just kind of screwing around a little bit, letting this game be closer than it needed to be. That's about it. So we'll just leave that alone. I don't think there's going to be any Johnny Flynn Memorial for this episode. So, yeah, that's pretty much where we stand going into the postseason. It's just irritating that this team lost to the Bucks because Timberwolves had a golden opportunity to be a higher seed and then didn't get it because of that. So, kind of annoying how things turned out, but still got the 6th seed, but get to play the Lakers. So that's kind of just the way things turned out. Looking for so this will probably be a pretty short first segment. Like I said, might as well just do it, little reviews, and then the main, basically the main part of the show will be the second segment, previewing the playoffs as a whole, and of course previewing the playoff series with the Los Angeles Lakers. We're going to hear about a 6-minute plus clip from Vince Germano, of course, big Lakers fan, incredible friend to myself, an incredible friend of Timberwolves Explosion for many, many years, dating back to 2012. So, and of course, host/co-host of the Showtime and T-Wolves show, which I'm going to probably record a short one maybe tomorrow night or something like that, so like tomorrow afternoon, something like that, and put the same clip in there and have a similar show, but more of a neutral, we'll say a neutral point of view, kind of in that one, just kind of generally talking about the Wolves and the Lakers on that show coming up. You get to hear from Vince Germano, which will be great, as, that's the Wolves and Lakers. The last time these two teams tipped off in the postseason was that's a long time ago, Western Conference Finals, right? When the Wolves had the number 1 seed, we even had home court advantage versus the Lakers, which is unthinkable. But I suppose the Wolves have had home court advantage 2 times versus the Lakers, haven't we? Like the Wolves got the 4th seed in, what year was it? 02-03. Wolves had the 4th seed. Like, wow, we have home court advantage in a series for the first time ever. And it was the Lakers, and the Wolves lost at 6. And the Wolves had home court advantage versus the Lakers again the next year in the Western Conference Finals. And the Wolves lost in 6. The Wolves would lose the first game, I believe, in both of those situations. Win the second, win the third. We're up 2-1, and then boom, boom, boom. You lose 3 in a row, and you go fishing. Like they say on TNT, basically. Time to go fishing. The Lakers then would lose the NBA Finals to the Detroit Pistons after winning the first game in clutch fashion. Kobe Bryant hitting a big 3. After that, the late Kobe Bryant, of course. God rest his soul. And the Detroit Pistons basically just said, welcome back to 1989. Yep, you're going to get a reminder of how painful 1989 was for the Showtime Lakers, who got absolutely slaughtered by the Detroit Pistons in that series, mostly because they were all hurt. I mean, that doesn't help. But at the same time, guys were getting old. Kareem was like, at best, he was at best a role player at that stage of his career. He was 42 for Pete's sake, so didn't age quite as well as LeBron James has been aging. Holy Toledo! So that's definitely something to talk about, and something I probably should save for Showtime and T-Wolves for more of a a little bit of extra LA point of view, to be more neutral, I guess you could say, for that show, where it's not just Timberwolves explosion, it's Showtime and T-Wolves, dang it. So that's kind of where we're coming in. Clearly, obviously, I'm on the Wolves side. Timberwolves explosion. Grew up with the Timberwolves. But, yep, of course, when you're friends with somebody who's a Lakers fan, you kind of get that little extra respect and all of that. And Vince Germano, of course, his second favorite team has been the Timberwolves pretty much forever. They're dating back to 89-ish, or like 92, 91, 92, 91, yeah, with the Luke Longley draft pick years ago. The first Australian to ever play in the National Basketball Association. So that was pretty cool. Apologize for my annoying voice right now. It doesn't sound the best, but that's just kind of how it is. It's, I don't know, springtime, stuff goes around. You think it's allergies, but it's not. It's something. It's annoying. It's stupid. With that said, we'll take a quick break, come back for the main event, the feature presentation, segment number 2, Wolves Lakers, next. Are you looking for a really nice Timberwolves-related Facebook page out there with cool fans and a wonderful host? Well, look no further than Wolfpack from Flip to Finch, hosted by Scott Doherty. He does a great job. Scott Doherty's an awesome guy, and the fan base on there, obviously passionate about the Wolves, but also respectful of other people's opinions regarding the team. Check out the page. It's awesome. Wolfpack from Flip to Finch. And we are back here on Timberwolves Explosion. So at the same time, obviously we're going to be Wolves Lakers centric, but at the same time we're going to go a little bit into the playoff bracket as well. In fact, I'm going to, I keep debating on how I should do this, because I know on the hockey show Brave the Wild yesterday, I kind of went into the bracket first. Maybe I'll go into the Wolves Lakers first this time. That's probably better idea. And let's get the perspective from a Lakers fan dating back at least to the late 80s. Of course, they couldn't see the games as much as they would have liked in the late 1980s in Australia, because they just the coverage wasn't there, unfortunately. You know how you can get TV pretty much anywhere nowadays, and really into the 90s you could. Like, Australians saw a lot of the Bulls, and in the 2000s, obviously the Lakers and all that. Of course, they saw the Lakers in the 90s as well. They saw, they probably knew about the whole Magic Johnson situation going into the 91-92 season. Definitely heartbreaking and stunning for a lot of fans. Like, what? And that's a nervous chuckle, so not laughing at the situation because it's not funny. So that was definitely heartbreaking. A lot of people say that Magic Johnson would have probably been playing into his early 40s like LeBron James is. I concur with that point of view. I think Magic Johnson had a love for the game that was, unwavering, to say the least. Replay of Memphis Golden State in the background just started after the Hawks got beat by the Orlando Magic. So I could briefly talk about the play-in tournament just for like 10 seconds here, and then we'll talk about Wolves Lakers. Sorry. So Dallas beat Sacramento, surprisingly. The 10 seed beat Sacramento 120-106. A little surprising there. And the stupid Warriors got past Memphis. And Memphis was in it the whole game. They just couldn't finish the job. And, of course, Curry and all them hitting their stupid threes like they always do. Draymond Green running around the court like a fool, complaining about everything under the sun. Ugh, it's tiring to watch. I'm not a fan at all, if you didn't notice. I think I've made my feelings known about the Golden State Warriors, so we'll see what happens. They are the 7th seed no matter what. So there's that. Unfortunately, with the play-in tournament, there's no guarantee as to. Well, then again, these teams are playing for the 8th seed, and I think they're going to be sacrificial lambs one way or another. So, too bad. Memphis is, well, yeah, I don't like Ja Morant very much, but it's the rest of the team, I have some respect for them. The Bulls once again this time beat it by the 10th seed. So the 10th seed beating the 9th seed in both conferences, 109-90. Just slaughtering them. Miami slaughtered the Bulls. The Bulls would rally a bit. Still lost by 19. I mean, if that's a rally, I guess. And then Orlando absolutely slaughters Atlanta. What the heck? 25-point victory by Orlando, 120-95 over the Atlanta Hawks. I swear, the Bulls and the Hawks are in the play-in tournament every single year, and they do nothing every single year. It's just an unfortunate fact. A few years ago, I suppose, the Hawks, was it the year the Bucks went to the NBA Finals and won it? The Hawks did go to the conference final that year. That was cool. It was like, finally, yeah, they got past Philadelphia in a 7-game series. That was nice to see the Hawks in the East Finals, but unfortunately, like always, the Hawks lost. But pretty much ever since then, they've been a play-in team every year. Right now, they're considered the 8th versus Miami, and that is tonight on TNT. It is the 18th, right? Yep, that's the early game, of course, because it's the Eastern Conference. Western Conference, Dallas Mavericks are being hosted by the Memphis Grizzlies at 8:30 on ESPN. So there's your conversation there. Picks as to who's going to win these games. I think Memphis beats Dallas. Miami looks like the better team here. They do. Andrew Wiggins has been playing well. Maybe Miami gets in, but of course does not beat the Cavaliers. Spoiler alert. Same with Memphis. Does not beat Oklahoma City. Huge spoiler there, I'm sure. On 420, dudes. 420. Yeah, I know. That's a pot thing, and I don't smoke that. I don't think it's interesting even. I don't even think it's mildly interesting, to say the least. Wolves versus Los Angeles Lakers, as Chick Hearn would say. Well, you know where we're going to go with this one. If it's Wolves versus Lakers, I'm going to let Vince Germano lead the way here. Vince?
G'day, Joey. Coming into you live from the lovely Phillip Island here in Australia. I'm on an Easter holiday break. So thought I'd give you some thoughts on the T-Wolves and Lakers. It's about 10 to 7 in the morning on my morning walk. Hopefully no Carsby's by, mate. Give it, stuff up the recording. But yeah, look, some thoughts on this first round matchup. It's a series that actually has got me a little. I'm not confident by any means. I'm not confident, and it's your size. Like, Gobert, Randall, Naz Reid, who just seems to turn into Reggie Miller, Steve Kerr every time he plays us. It is amazing what he turns into. Your depth is a bit better than ours, I feel. I feel like it's a way more consistent depth. I feel like you know what you're going to get every night from your guys off the bench in Reid, NAW, and DiVincenzo. On the other hand, with us, I mean, Finney Smith's been okay, but Vincent is massively inconsistent. Jordan Goodwin is solid, and I like him, but we can't rely on him to give us 10 points a night. Connect isn't really going to get a lot of minutes. He probably should get some minutes, I think, but I don't think he will. Alex Len is a non-factor. I'm pretty sure we haven't converted Jemison or Koloko to an actual standard contract. So, and look, if I had my pick out of those two, I'd go Jemison. I just think Koloko's a stick and would get snapped in half by Gobert. So I think the plan would be my plan would be to probably try and run Gobert off the court. No, I don't want to say make him a non-factor, because he's going to be a factor, especially on the defensive end and rebounding, but just try and get him off the court as much as we can and use our small ball. Who's going to guard Edwards? I think it's going to be a job shared between probably Vando, Finney Smith. I think LeBron might get in for a few minutes here and there, although I wouldn't, especially with his latest groin niggle. I also think we're going to attack, like JJ's pretty good at hunting guys that are weak on the opposition defensively. But again, if we hunt Conley, I mean, you take Conley off, you bring DiVincenzo on. I mean, then who do you hunt? Like, McDaniels can play D, Edwards. It's just, I just think you're getting a bit disrespected from a lot of media, especially in LA. Like, I saw like 10 journos all picked us to beat you. Like, and I'm like, well, way to poke the bear. Like, if you guys pin that up in the lockers, that's what I'd be doing. So that worries me. But speaking of poking the bear, let's hope Go Bear pokes Doncic a little bit. Get old Luka going. There's a parrot for you, Joey. You'd appreciate that. Yeah, let's hope Go Bear pokes the bear, gets Luka going, because we all know how much Luka despises old mate Go Bear. So, look, I think it's going to be such a tough, hard-fought series. I wouldn't be surprised to go 7 games, honestly. And the thing is, the West is so wide open. Like, I could see us getting bounced in the first round. I can also see us going all the way to the Western Conference Finals. I could see you guys going to the Western Conference Finals. I could see the Rockets, the Clippers. Everyone's playing good ball. So, yeah, look, I'm really looking forward to your show, to hear your thoughts, even from Tanae, old mate Tanae, Levi, and others. Yeah, I'm already thinking about it, mate, and it's, a few days out, so, I'm stressed. And I just keep thinking how we're going to combat you guys. It's, even Randall's been so good for you this year, so solid, and the last few weeks he's been really good, and I knew you'd love him. Like, I loved him in LA. I liked it still. Even when he left, I followed him. Man, you guys, you're a tough team. I think like, if Edwards, I can live with Edwards getting 40 and the rest of the guys not contributing as much, because I think that helps us. The scary thing is when Edwards can give you 25, 26, 27, 28, let's say, and then you get Vincenzo giving you 15 and Conley chipping in with 10, and McDaniels, who people forget about, who will give you 15, and that's when it gets scary with you guys. If you guys can get all that together, I think you guys can beat anyone, including us. So, yeah, look, it's going to be a great series, mate, and hopefully I haven't been too puffy for you, because I tell you what, it's a bit hilly here, and at least there's no cars. But yeah, look, it's going to be a great series. Hopefully the Lakers can get up. I'm never confident in these things. Even back in the Kobe and Shaq and Kobe and Power days, it's never confident. Just a fear of losing, I guess. But yeah, look, it's going to be fun. I'm going to cut it off right now just before I have a stroke or a heart attack, walking and talking. No, not really. But yeah, look, it's going to be fun. Hope everyone's well. Happy Easter to everyone. Look after yourselves, and see you next time.
And I thank you very much for that call, Vince. That was awesome. Yep, great thoughts for sure. Got to hear the parrot in the background, some other like birds tweeting in the background. That was cool. So Vince out on a walk in the early morning there in Australia at the time. So really appreciate the thoughts and bringing your knowledge to the show. Yeah, yep, definitely not taking us lightly, that's for sure. And yeah, like it does feel like the Wolves are getting disrespected by the media. What did they say? Like 10 journalists in LA all picked the Lakers to win. So it's like, 10-0 basically. And I think nationally it's pretty much like 5-0, 4-0, like Lakers. Not in a sweep, but just saying that they're all picking the Lakers to win one way or another. They're going to find us and get us. No, I'm just kidding. Just messing around with that old song from the good old 80s. Yeah, Luka Doncic, obviously a terrible matchup for the Timberwolves last season. So, yes, I'm worried too, one way or another. So, Vince talking about the size and depth, that's the thing to worry about with the Wolves versus the Lakers. For me, it's obviously the star power of the Los Angeles Lakers with obviously Luka Doncic and how he's kind of clowning us a bit last year in the Western Conference Finals. We got and okay, no, maybe not him. Thankfully, he's on the Nets. Well, thankfully for the Lakers, he's on the Nets. No, nope, not him. No, sorry. So other guys that might be going up against the Wolves. What were you saying? Finney Smith. Dorian Finney-Smith and Jared Vanderbilt of all guys. So was with the Wolves for a few years. The one frustration with Jared Vanderbilt is he couldn't stay healthy, but man, I loved the guy. He was like the worm out there, really nice rebounder, good defense, and really appreciated what he brought to the Timberwolves. I was actually quite sad to see him go. Alex Len, gosh, he's been on like 50 teams. I don't know if he's actually currently on the Lakers, because I know he's been moved around like shares of certain stock companies that get moved around a lot. I won't say any names. I don't want to get anything started there. I really don't. Luka Doncic, 28 games with the Lakers. He finally got healthy. Apparently the Mavericks were kind of tired of all the messing around that he was doing over there. They felt maybe he wasn't serious enough about like staying in shape. I guess that's what the Mavericks' frustration was. 28 points, 7.5 assists, 8 rebounds. Anthony Davis, of course, on Dallas. He can't stay healthy either, freak injuries, but God, he bugged the hell out of Timberwolves fans forever. And Anthony Davis was on the Lakers because of the Julius Randle trade. So, yep, it was Julius Randle was involved in the trade with the New Orleans Pelicans. And that's how Anthony Davis wound up there. And then ultimately Doncic several years later. So, and then Mr. Randle winds up with the Timberwolves after going to the Knicks several years later as well. So, yes, Julius Randle, yep, I've definitely grown to appreciate him. Starting out the year, it's like, well, it was exciting at the very beginning. Like, yeah, I like the guy. And then it's like, the frustration started happening, and then the whole spat with Rudy Gobert in Toronto, and he somehow lost that game. Rudy Gobert kind of pouting, and Julius Randle kind of intentionally throwing the ball low just to say, screw you, catch that, you dummy. That's why I didn't throw you the ball in the first place. So it's kind of like, ugh. There was definitely some uncomfortable moments for the Timberwolves earlier in the year, but the chemistry seems to be picking up at the right time, thankfully, and guys playing well at the right time. Last year, it felt like a certain number of players weren't playing well at the right time. And the most ironic thing of all last season was what did the Suns beat the Wolves like 7-8 games in a row or something leading into the postseason last year, and then the Wolves swept them. It was just like, what? I mean, that was stunning. Or all of us were like, it was a 3-6 again, whereas we're the 6 this time. But I mean, the Wolves were the 3 last year. And it's like, it was a similar situation where it's like, oh, great, we got to play them. Oh, no. And then now it's kind of like that with the Lakers. Oh, great, we got to play them. So, whereas the Wolves have not matched up well with the Los Angeles Lakers this season, generally speaking, even before Doncic got there, because Anthony Davis, beat the crap out of the Wolves. Doncic, obviously, again, ugly stuff last year in the Western Conference Finals. The Wolves had opportunity after opportunity after opportunity to beat that stupid team. Would we have been sacrificial lambs for the Celtics? Maybe not as bad as the Mavericks were. The Mavericks got pretty much pounded by the Boston Celtics last year. I think the Wolves would have made it a better series. I don't think there's any doubt it would have been 6 or 7. But unfortunately, I think the Celtics would have won. Probably. Just saying. Just like the Denver Broncos probably would have beat the 98 Vikings. It sucks to think about is how great the 98 Vikings were. This is football, of course. And then, as spectacular as that team was, and then Denver Broncos, like historically good team at the time. I don't even know how they lost 2 games that year, the Denver Broncos. I don't know how, and then the Vikings lost one super frustrating game by like 3 points or something to the Tampa Bay Bucks because key first downs and the Bucks were able to run the clock out, basically, with Mike Allstott at the time. A little bit of football history there. Vikings only lost that year and then losing to freaking Atlanta in the conference final in devastating fashion. And, yep, the Lakers definitely, I think, again, they're top heavy. The Wolves' strength, I think, here again, like Vince was saying, size and depth. Size and depth. That's definitely what helps the Wolves. LeBron James at age 40, averaging 24.4. That's unheard of. 8.2 assists, 7.8 rebounds. Again, Doncic is averaging... Yeah, I mean, he's not averaging a triple-double like people like... I don't think he's on the same level as the Cyclops in Denver. The Cyclops is what I call him. That would be, of course, Nikola Jokic or the Joker or whatever you want to call him. I don't think he's on the same level. And what was it? Somebody locally talked about Luka Doncic and LeBron James in the same sentence, so talking about how they're both GOAT level players. Luka Doncic hasn't done enough to be in the GOAT conversation. Slow down, people. So that one kind of bugged me a little bit. Obviously, Doncic is a lot better than he looks. Like, he doesn't look like a good... He doesn't even look like a good player. But then, yeah. But then crazy stuff happens. It's like he did this, he did that. He took, he brought Gobert out like way out there, and then hit the shot and told Rudy Gobert, you can't guard me, MFer. You can't guard me, MFer. So, obviously, no respect given to Rudy Gobert. Apparently, there's been a bit of a... I don't know, Rudy Gobert gets dissed on by a lot of people, and it's frustrating. I like the way Rudy Gobert is playing going into the postseason, and who knows, maybe Rudy Gobert could really help carry this team to something special. I do think this is a pivotal series in the Western Conference. Pivotal series. The winner of this series goes to the West Finals and maybe the NBA Finals, depending on how the matchup truly is and how healthy players are and how, locked in they are to possibly beat the Oklahoma City Thunder. I think the winner of this series at least goes to the Western Conference Finals. I think either of these teams could beat the Houston Rockets or I'd like to say the Warriors as well. Warriors are definitely a threat. I hate them with a passion, but they are a threat. So there is that. Far be it from me to say, I'm comfortable with this series. I'm confident in this series. Heck, I was scared to death of the Mavericks last year because I knew it was a bad matchup. Injury report, Minnesota Timberwolves, no injuries. Minnesota Wild entering the postseason with no injuries. But, of course, guys, returning from injuries and not being 100%, there's no way that Kirill Kaprizov and Jake Middleton are 100%. Check out Brave the Wild if you like hockey, or you want to hear me talk about the Minnesota Wild and the Stanley Cup playoffs. They're entering with no injuries, but of course guys are banged up going in. But yeah, again, knocking on wood here. Lakers, Rui Hachimura with a knee on April 12th. Not sure how serious that one is. Max Kleber foot. That doesn't sound good if it's going back to January 25th. Maybe Vince knows, I'm sure Vince knows a lot more than I do about the situation with Rui Hachimura and Maxi Kleber. As I noticed, I don't think he mentioned Rui Hachimura, so might mean he's not even a factor right now because he's out, that type of thing. This series, again, I'm not overconfident whatsoever. Game 1 is Saturday night, 7:30 on ABC. I hope I'm able to get to that on time, that type of thing. Otherwise, mobile is what it is. I'm going to be watching it no matter what, of course. So there's that. This series, again, yes, the Wolves... The way the Wolves would win is size and depth. Julius Randle is a huge factor in this series. Huge. And again, if the Lakers are able to frustrate Rudy Gobert the way the Dallas Mavericks did, that's another way the Wolves would be undone in this series, unfortunately. Playoff Anthony Edwards is better than regular season Anthony Edwards. And regular season Anthony Edwards did average almost 28 points a game as he continues to get better and better and better. And again, made more threes than anybody in during this season. I believe it's the most of anybody ever, right? 320. So just one more than Steph Curry with 319. Wahoo, right? LeBron James again, obviously he's been playoff tested more than pretty much anybody in NBA history. Beat the Warriors in Game 7. One of the most delicious, wonderful moments I've ever had the pleasure to witness, not in person, but been able to witness it one way or another in sports. Like, it was a wonderful, satisfying moment to see the Warriors see the Cleveland Cavaliers wipe the smiles off the Warriors' faces. All that arrogance gone, at least for one game, at least for one day, and into the summer. It was like good riddance to your 73-win. Whatever you guys are. And that was a wonderful thing. So, huge respect to LeBron James for that. And, of course, the fact he has been pretty damn good in Game 7s. Anthony Edwards was clutch in Game 7 last year. Obviously started poorly. I mean, he was shooting he had a pretty weird-looking air ball, but maybe somebody had a piece of the shot, more than likely. I don't think that's Anthony Edwards hurling up air balls, but he started poorly in the Denver game. But then things changed so dramatically as... that game progressed, and then the famous "bring your ass" comment to Charles Barkley about bringing his ass to Minnesota, because we're in the conference finals now. You better come and watch us play, and give us some credit here for crying out loud. And we had home court and all that, but at the end of the day, it didn't matter, unfortunately, for the Timberwolves, as they just could not hang on to leads in that series. As for how things are going to go in this one, oh boy, it's tough to say. It is. Let's look at the overall season matchup. I hope they show them, and they don't. That's annoying. Come on. So I might have to go in a separate area here. But I do believe the Lakers beat the Timberwolves season series. I do believe the Lakers have beaten the Wolves at least 3 in a row over the course of time. And why can't I just show them? Yes. Timberwolves won on December 2nd, 109-80. That was, okay, so they've beaten us two games. This can't be right. Huh. So I guess it was even. It was even. Yeah, the Lakers beat us real early on. I remember what's his name, Davis, crushed us pretty good. And then the Wolves beat the Lakers 109-80 December 2nd. But I think like nobody played in that game for the Lakers. I mean, they're not going to score 80 points. And then maybe similarly about 2 weeks later, 97-87. So it's not that bad. It's not that bad. The 111-102 victory by the Lakers, that wasn't the best game ever. This is Stat Muse, of course. You can get all the different shots, shot charts and such in this one. LeBron with 33. He got 17 rebounds also in the game. Crazy. It's not like a full box score, though, but it's kind of like just stats. Kind of like more like, what do they call that? Like analytic type stuff. It's nice and everything. It's cool. Okay, I guess you can go to stats as well. What? Anthony Edwards only had 18 points in the game. Only 18. He only played 26 minutes. Oh, isn't this the game he got a technical foul and then was suspended, I think? So stupid. Yeah, that's why he had only 26 minutes. He got ejected. Yep. I'm getting my memory back now. Luka Doncic, 21, 13, and 5. Crazy stuff. Yeah, Doncic shot terribly, but I remember he had a really wild-looking circus shot. The only three-pointer. Yep, I remember talking about this. That was that long ago. The end of February. It feels like ancient history now. It's 2 whole months ago. Yeah, the 1 of 9 from 3, but the 1 3 he did make was pretty crazy. It was a bit of a circus shot in that one. So, I think the Lakers are beatable, yes, but I don't know. I'm not going into this series overconfident, but it's not as bad of a matchup as some of us might have been thinking. Of course, again, no Doncic on the Lakers on December 13th. Yeah, but Davis was a Wolves killer too, to be fair, and he did play in the 10-point victory by the Wolves. The Wolves and Lakers were very even at the time too, kind of like we are now. The Lakers had, 50 wins this year, and the Wolves had 49. Lakers 13-12 after this game, Wolves 13-11, so the Wolves were slightly ahead of the Lakers at the end of this December 13th game. Interesting. Anthony Edwards with 23 points and 6 rebounds, yes, in that one. Anthony Davis led the Lakers in scoring, but no LeBron. Yeah, this LeBron guy didn't play. Son of a gun. What's up with that, LeBron? No, I'm just kidding. But no, it didn't help with LeBron being out. And, of course, 109-80. I mean, are you kidding me? D'Angelo Russell played, though. Oof. He hit 4 threes, 20 points. Former Lakers for the second time. D'Angelo Russell. I'm sure Vince is not missing D'Angelo Russell too much. LeBron did play in this one, but only 10 lousy points. 4 of 16. Yikes. So LeBron and Davis played in this game. I thought guys were out. So the Lakers just kind of were just awful in this game. The Wolves got back to 500 because the Wolves started the season terribly. Cam Reddish was on LA and all them. Oh, it's so hard to say what's going to happen in this series. It's kind of unpredictable, I think. It is. This is an unpredictable game for me. Yeah, even Anthony Edwards only 8 points. But partially because the Wolves are blowing out the Lakers, which, again, I'm not saying that in an arrogant way. Like, oh, you didn't even have to play. I'm not trying to get like that. But it is kind of, interesting. So the season series was tied. I thought the Lakers beat the Wolves 3 games in a row. What's going on in my head here? So I even heard that. I thought maybe I'm losing it here. I don't know. Maybe I am. But this is a pretty even matchup. More than people want to give it credit. Obviously, again, the star power of the Lakers. LeBron James. Some people call him the GOAT. I say second. Michael's first. LeBron second. And then after that, it's like Wilt, probably. And then you keep going after that. And it's all over the place. Some people might say Dr. J. Some people might say Kobe. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to irritate Laker fans by saying this, but I think, I don't know, Dr. J, I think? I don't know. Maybe I'm all over the place. I mean, there's other people like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Magic Johnson. Hell, he should be in the top 5 for sure. It's too bad his career was cut short, but I hate to say this, but I hate to say this about Magic's career being cut short. That's on him. Did I say that? I know, I shouldn't have said that. I know, but it was on him, though. It was. I mean, he would tell you that. But Magic, sorry for the mean words, but I might say. But so right back at you, Magic, in this one, lemon and the tomato juice for you. Absolutely love Magic Johnson. Yeah, he's definitely top 5, top 4 all time. But yeah, it's just crazy. The Lakers are the most storied franchise in NBA history. The Celtics do have one more championship, and man, do they have a lot of banners as well that are legendary. But the Lakers, I think, have a little bit more overall history, I think, than the Celtics. The Celtics have definitely had some crazy dry periods. Was it like 86 until 2008? You know, like they competed in 87, 88, and all that. Obviously, they got to the finals in 87, and they were very much competing into 88 and such. But then the Pistons kind of took over the league, at least for a couple years there, as things went forward. At least they took over the Eastern Conference, and then ultimately the NBA for a couple years did the Pistons. So the overall comparisons: Timberwolves in points 13th, Lakers 19th. Rebounds: Timberwolves 15th, Lakers 26th. So points and rebounds, the Wolves have the advantage. Field goal percentage, oh boy, Wolves 16th, the Lakers are 8th. So yeah, they make those high percentage shots. Free throw percentage, I know. Yeah, we'll go here since it's a playoff series. 9th for the Wolves, 13th for the Lakers. And a lot of us are afraid the Lakers will be at the line a hell of a lot in this series. Just like they always are. 3-point percentage, Wolves are 4th, Lakers are 14th. Assists per game, Wolves are 16th, Lakers are 18th. Turnovers, yep, here we go. Definitely Wolves behind in this one. 18th, the Lakers are 11th, way better. Assist to turnover ratio, Wolves are 16th, the Lakers are 13th. Not too much better, only 0.1 difference. Block shots, Wolves are 13th. Thank you, Rudy Gobert. Lakers 20th. Yeah, no Davis. So, yeah. Steals, Wolves are 17th, Lakers are 22nd. So the Wolves lead in a lot of stats. A lot of overall stats. I know they're just general stats and everything, like team stats, but it's interesting. It's interesting. The coaching matchup is obviously very interesting as well. Redick, of course, JJ Redick, entering his first playoff series ever. So that doesn't mean he's gonna, be in over his head, because so far this year he's not been in over his head. He's done a pretty good job. I don't think he's a genius. I don't think he's the next Phil Jackson or anything like that. But I do think he has staying power in Los Angeles, where a lot of people go to LA and just, that they're in over their head, that type of thing, and they don't last. It was kind of a shame how the Lakers let go of Frank Vogel as quick as they did. He did help bring them a championship in 2020, and it was like, what have you done for me lately? And they moved on so quickly. So that was a doggone shame, to say the least. Tough matchup. I don't know. I keep thinking Lakers in 7. But the other side of me is like, could the Wolves pull this off? Wolves in 7, could it happen? I think it can. Again, Doncic has been it's kind of like prove me wrong type of thing. Did I pick Phoenix last year? I think I did. Well, I think I'm going to go with Lakers in 7. Kind of a prove me wrong type of thing. Because Wolves, you go out and win this series, there's a real chance you might not only get to the West Finals, but the NBA Finals, as you get the guy that was in your way last year out of the way, along with, the second best player of all time in NBA history. Whether he's 40 or 30, he's still the second best player in NBA history, that type of thing. The depth of the Wolves could get this done. It could. Obviously, guys like Nah, N-A-W, of course, Nikhil, could be a huge factor in this series. Julius Randle, I think, is a massive X factor in this series. Rudy Gobert could be the Wolves' success or the Wolves' undoing in so many ways. Again, like he was kind of an undoing last year versus Dallas. Definitely didn't help. And apparently he was not healthy as he would have liked to have been. Of course, a fall he took, I believe it was in the Denver series, and he wasn't really the same after that. Like a pretty harsh fall he took and injured his hip a bit against Denver Nuggets. Remember, he struggled versus the Nuggets, too, until Game 7. He hit like a couple of clutch shots. Pretty wild stuff. Like unexpected kind of shots by Rudy Gobert. Like a Garnett type of a shot, like mid-range shot from a little ways out there around the free throw line, or even further, which was surprising, and it was damning to the Denver Nuggets long term. For now, I'm going to say Lakers in 7. I hate saying it, but I'm going to say Lakers in 7 for now, and I'm praying and hoping and praying the Timberwolves do indeed prove me wrong, and I'll be more than willing to admit it. Eastern Conference, again, I had Miami beating Atlanta. It looks like they're kind of they're more than likely to do that. Miami pretty impressive versus Chicago, and Atlanta not impressive at all versus Orlando. Miami versus Cleveland, I think the Cavaliers win that series in 5. Cavaliers look great. Boston versus Orlando, Celtics in 6. Kind of a close one. I think Orlando puts up a pretty good fight, but the Celtics get the win. New York, Detroit, extremely awesome series right there. You might have an upset there, but you also might see the New York Knicks go on a bit of a playoff run as well. New York Knicks are definitely a threat. I mean, the winner of that series could beat Boston. They absolutely can. I don't think Boston repeats this year. Spoiler alert. I don't think they do. That's a tough series. I think that series might go 6 or 7. New York, Detroit. That's going to be great. Love what Detroit has done. And, of course, lots of respect for the New York Knicks. They need to stay healthy. They need to stay consistent. Knicks in 7. Yeah. And I kind of want to pick Detroit there, but it's a 7-game series. Bucks versus Indiana Pacers. The Pacers win that one in 6 to play the tip-off versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. So I think I have all the home teams winning, which is probably going to make me wrong, more than likely, but we'll see. But the Pacers, I think, are just better than the Bucks. I think they are. Oh, but I suppose Dame Time is coming back. I don't know. I'm impressed with the Pacers. I like them. Pacers win it in 6 or 7. We'll say 7. It's going to be super close. Pacers win, then play against the Cavs. 5-game series again. Cavaliers go to the East Finals. Cavaliers look pretty scary. New York Knicks somehow get past the Boston Celtics. It might be a crazy pick here. New York Knicks over the Celtics in 7 games. Really close series. But then they'll be tired, and the Cleveland Cavaliers win that series in 6. The Eastern Conference Finals over the Knicks. The Cavaliers go to the NBA Finals for they've been there several times because of the LeBron era. Western Conference, Oklahoma City will host the Memphis Grizzlies and win that one in, it's going to be close, 6 or 7. We'll say 6 for that one. Houston versus Golden State. I'd like to say the Rockets in 7. That's going to be a tough series. Rockets, hopefully the home court means something. Rockets get past the Warriors. Yep, that's what's going to happen there. It's going to be tough. That'll be a 7-game series. Warriors out, thankfully, and a lot of us are going to breathe a sigh of relief. Lakers will then, we'll move on. Clippers are going to beat Denver, so that's the only road team winning for me in the first round. Clippers are going to beat the Denver Nuggets in 6. They'll win it on their home court. The Clippers are looking freaking good going into this postseason. They look way better than I expected, and they're going to put up quite a fight versus OKC in the next round. OKC wins that one in 7 games. Clippers are going to give them hell of a time. OKC wins it in 7, but they'll be a little tired going to the West Finals versus the Lakers. Yes, Lakers versus OKC in the West Final. Lakers versus Oklahoma City in the West Finals. The Lakers get past Houston in 6. Yep, they win it on their home court. And then you have OKC versus LA. Tough one here. Tough one, no doubt. The Lakers beat the Oklahoma City Thunder in 7 games. But then Cleveland Cavaliers are going to win the NBA title. At least that's where I'm going right now. I'm probably going to be completely wrong. Cavaliers might be out in round 2 or 3. But I think the Cavaliers would beat the Lakers after all that. I think the Lakers will be tired, like LeBron and all them. So, they're going to be tired, banged up, that type of thing. So Doncic will get to the finals 2 years in a row, but will lose both times. Cavaliers in 6. Cleveland Cavaliers win in Los Angeles and win the championship this year. It's kind of a weird pick, but I've been kind of on the Cavs for a while. Quietly, I haven't been talking about it at all, but I've quietly been on the Cavs for quite a while. I think they're just their depth, their overall depth, their strength, everything. So I've just been impressed with them. Again, I could be dead wrong, but that's partially the fun of this. That's the fun of this. You just do your little bracket and hope for the best, that kind of thing. I don't believe any of the 8th seeds are going to knock out the number 1 seeds. It's fun and cute and everything, but I don't think that's going to happen. And I don't think the 7th seeds are going to beat the 2 seeds either. It could happen, though. It could happen. Unfortunately, the Warriors could beat Houston, and Orlando might beat Boston. I don't think they will. I'm so tempted to go with the Detroit Pistons instead. God, I'm so tempted to go with the Detroit Pistons going to the East Finals. I am so tempted to do it. I just don't think the Celtics go to the finals this year. I don't think they go to the East Finals either. I think they get knocked out by the Knicks and Detroit winner at the end of the day. Cleveland versus Los Angeles, the matchup everybody wanted when it was LeBron and Kobe. Everybody wanted that matchup. It'll finally come. LeBron versus his former team. Can you believe that? It's his hometown team in the NBA Finals, and they beat him. They beat him. So wouldn't that be a storyline, to say the least? So, but I think that's what's going to happen. I think the Lakers go to the NBA Finals, but do not beat the Cavaliers. 6-game series, Cavaliers beat the Lakers in the NBA Finals. With that said, we will take a quick break and look for some fan interaction after this. And we are back here on Timberwolves Explosion, segment number 3, fan interaction. Unfortunately, it's a little on the quiet side. Hopefully, we can get a prediction from, or a conversation from Tanae, Levi, Benzo, and others in the next episode. We'll be a little ways into the series. Not too far in. I mean, the series will definitely be still going a week from now. As long as I'm still recording regularly on Fridays. We'll see if the schedule gets a little bit hazy. But generally, in the postseason, it does get hazy. But, but it would just be odd days, that type of thing. But I'll keep up with the postseason like I did last year, and that was a lot of fun to do. Unfortunately, the crappy ending to that series. I want to thank Tanae, Levi, and Vince Germano for retweeting the most recent episode, Microcosm of the Season. Tanae was saying he could not agree with Finch more here. Finch was talking about how Conley, this is cool. Chris Finch, this is from Dane Moore. Chris Finch, when asked why he thinks Mike Conley has been underappreciated throughout his career, quote from Chris Finch, "It's funny, I was thinking today I saw a bunch of highlights from the league. They make a shot, they got some celebration. Everybody has to celebrate everything they do. Kind of gets annoying after a while." That sounds just like me right there, because like Curry constantly has to do something. He's always got to have some kind of, over-the-top celebration. Again, he's more subtle about it than he used to be, but you can still, in my opinion, see the arrogance in Steph Curry, and it ain't just him. It's everybody. It's almost everybody, like even, what's his name? Even Anthony Edwards a little bit. I don't think he's as annoying as Curry. Yes, you're the best shooter ever, but you don't have to show off every single time you do anything. So it does get kind of annoying. So thank you, Chris Finch. I agree with you 1,000%. Back to Mike, what he has to say about Mike Conley. Mike doesn't celebrate anything. He celebrates his teammates, and he celebrates winning. And that's what matters most. That's probably why he's been undervalued, because he doesn't draw any attention to himself. That's wonderful. Yep, so great comment there by Chris Finch. And like Tanae said, I could not agree with Finch more here. I feel you 1,000% on that one. It's like gosh, I hate that when you can't get the replies. What the heck is this? Yeah, okay, so I was saying, in all honesty, this is why I despise Steph Curry. Unfortunately, I didn't get any likes. Maybe Tanae didn't like what I was saying. And others like him so much to celebrate every little thing they do. Mike Conley does not do that. He respects his opponents. I was saying, I remember when Curry blew off this was against the Knicks years ago, when Curry had his early best game of his career. He blew off his teammate trying to high-five and then celebrate with Curry. He blew off his teammate. The guy was too interested in celebrating himself. That was the day he lost me forever. So that's the day I stopped liking Curry. I think it was 2010-ish, around there. I think it was, yeah. I was okay with Curry before that, and I didn't mind the Warriors. And then pretty much ever since then, I was like, bleep that guy. They were kind of joking about it on, I don't know if it was ESPN, he completely blew him off. It's like, yeah, that bugged me. I know you're probably sick of seeing that. That's why Tanae probably didn't like the comment. So apologize today. Hope I haven't turned you off a bit with some of my rants. So my apologies. So yeah. Okay, yeah, but then today does come back here and says, do we get Vinrock on the show for a segment? Well, yep, I was saying at least he did do an extended audio submission. So yes, that's what happened, and really appreciate that. I'd like to hear from Tanae as well, something like that, if you'd like, or at least a decent amount of tweets, maybe some kind of a commentary, how you feel about this series. As now we're gonna jump into it, even if it's just game 1, game 2, whatever. Would love to hear from Tanae Brown if possible, and Vince, keep them coming. If you could do it again going into next show, that'd be great. Obviously, no pressure. If you're busy or whatever, that's totally understandable. Same with Tanae. Levi, same thing. Benzo, same thing. Anyone else out there listening that would like to interact with the show? Maybe I've never met you on Twitter or Facebook before. Interact. That would be awesome. I'd love to hear from you. If you could also, again, anybody out there, 5-star rating for Apple Podcasts, Timberwolves Explosion, or Spotify. If you could put a 5-star rating, it would be greatly, greatly appreciated. It helps the show in so many ways, like more than you could imagine. So it makes the show more attractive to potential listeners. So as long as this show's been around, it feels like it's gotten lonely and stupid over the years with the with the ratings. Thankfully, not negative ones. That's the good part, but it's like no positive ones either. It's gotten kind of quiet, and I'm hoping and praying there's no malaise or anything for the show, because malaise is probably the worst thing you could have. So hopefully people aren't bored with this show. But those of you that have been so loyal for so long, God bless you, each and every one of you. Thank you again so much. With that said, we will sign off for now, and go Timberwolves. We'll see if they can pull this off. We'll see where we're at in the next few days here as Timberwolves Explosion will continue to cover this series.